Week 1 around the NFL was wild. There were some upsets I don't think any of us expected, kickers could not make a field goal to save their lives, and both of 2021's Super Bowl teams lost. In this video, I'm going to break down my biggest takeaways from Week 1 of the 2022 NFL season. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, subscribe, like the video, and to start things off, as a Giants fan, I need to talk about Saquon Barkley being back. Watching Saquon Barkley this past Sunday was the equivalent to watching poetry in motion. He looks like he is back to prime rookie year Saquon Barkley. At points in his career, he sometimes has tried to do too much, causing himself to lose yards, but he was hitting running lanes the Giants offensive line opened up for him on Sunday perfectly. When there was not an opportunity for him to make a big play and run 60 yards down the field, he was putting his head down, running through contact, getting 6 or more yards almost every single time. It was also extremely exciting to see that his burst is finally back and that he was running past people in the open field, because when he has been healthy over the last 2 seasons, to me at points it had looked as if he lost his step. Saquon Barkley put the Giants on his back for this victory, and while I am excited to see him dominate every week this season, there's an objective downside to Saquon carrying this Giants roster to wins. Daniel Jones is still not a good quarterback, and if Saquon carries the Giants to an extra 2 to 4 wins this season they wouldn't have without him, they are hurting their chances at getting the quarterback they want in next year's draft. Plus, there's always the possibility Saquon could leave in free agency due to this being the last year on his contract. And if there's anyone out there thinking Daniel Jones played well in this game, consider this. He threw a horrible interception in the red zone at the end of the fourth quarter that almost cost the Giants a chance at winning. He only had 188 yards passing, 30 of which came from Saquon out of the backfield, and 65 of which came on a deep bomb to a wide open Sterling Shepard. Saquon Barkley also had more total yards than Daniel Jones did passing. I'm excited that Saquon is going to make Giants football watchable this year, but my fellow Giants fans, let me know what you think. Next up, I want to talk about the Chiefs offense. The Chiefs offense is going to be absolutely fine without Tyreek Hill, who in his own right was absolutely fine without Patrick Mahomes making big plays in the Dolphins offense Sunday. Patrick Mahomes is clearly still the best quarterback in the NFL and looked like his best self with only 9 incompletions on Sunday. Himself and Andy Reid showed that they don't need Tyreek Hill to be successful. Any offense is of course better with Tyreek Hill in it, but the Chiefs seemed better because they were forced to utilize more players rather than just using Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. Their 3 running backs combined to average over 5.5 yards a carry, and Mahomes completed passes to 9 different receivers. The Chiefs have depth all over their offense, and I think it is going to be very hard for teams outside of Travis Kelce to diagnose who the Chiefs want to get the ball to. I'm really looking forward to watching the Chiefs offense for the rest of the season and cannot wait for the Chiefs to play the Chargers, who also had a good performance against the Raiders. The third thing I want to talk about is the Bears finding a way to beat the 49ers. Now, before I piss off 49ers fans, it needs to be said that holding this game entirely against Trey Lance is unfair. He was playing in horrible Chicago weather to the point where cameras were blurry. It was week 1 of the NFL season, and up until week 1, he had only thrown 100 passes in games since 2020. He was going to look rough regardless. Now, you're also a little bit of a delusional 49ers fan if you watched the game on Sunday and were extremely happy that 49ers drafted Trey Lance instead of Justin Fields. Fields was dealing with a much worse offensive line, a much worse receiving group than Lance, yet he still figured out a way to win in the second half with an improvisation deep touchdown to the opposite side of the field and another beautiful touchdown pass to the back of the end zone. Justin Fields also had 0 support from his run game just due to how bad his offensive line was, and he still found a way to win. In conclusion, I don't hold this game against Trey Lance when it comes to whether or not he'll be a good quarterback, but it definitely isn't a good sign, and I think the game is an indication of just how good Justin Fields can be if the Bears keep building around him. The final game I want to talk about is America's Trash Can versus the Buccaneers. It is laughable that there were Cowboys fans out there that convinced themselves getting rid of Amari Cooper was a good idea. It is almost as if they seemingly forgot Amari Cooper being on the field helped CeeDee Lamb get open, because last night, despite 11 targets, CeeDee Lamb was only able to haul in 2 passes. That is really bad, and like I predicted, the Cowboys offensive line is just bad without Tyron Smith, and Dak was not able to function. Besides the fact Dak is now out 6 to 8 weeks with a broken thumb, like I predicted, the Cowboys were going to struggle to win games this season because of their offseason roster losses. With the loss of Dak now, at least they're going to improve their draft stock. Maybe they can get Will Anderson to pair with Micah Parsons. On the Buccaneers side of the ball, I don't think we learned a ton. What we did learn though is Leonard Fournette should be considered a top 10 to 15 running back in the NFL, and Julio Jones finally looks like he's back to being his regular self. He was explosive on his 2 carries in the run game and was effective in the pass game. Overall, we saw the Buccaneers Buccaneers are still undoubtedly the best team in the NFC South. They will be in the playoffs this season, and we also found out it is not the Cowboys' year. Those are my biggest takeaways from week 1 of the 2022 NFL season. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Like the video, subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.